The DeLorean DMC-12 is one of the most iconic and instantly recognizable cars in automotive history. Stainless steel wedge-shaped time capsule from the early 1980s that has transcended its short-lived production run to become a pop culture legend, immortalized forever by the Back to the Future film trilogy. But the real-life story of the DeLorean DMC-12 is as fascinating and layered as its brushed metal bodywork. Introduced in 1981 by the DeLorean Motor Company, the DMC-12 was the brainchild of John Z. DeLorean, a visionary former General Motors executive who sought to create a futuristic, high-performance, yet practical sports car that would break away from the conventions of its era. And in doing so, he penned a design that remains unlike anything else on the road, crafted by famed Italian designer Giorgetto Giugiaro of Ital Design. The DeLorean DMC-12's exterior is a masterclass in minimalism and drama, with flat planes, sharp creases, a low-wide stance, and those unmissable gullwing doors that open upward like the wings of some stainless steel bird of prey. A design cue borrowed in spirit from the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL, but executed here in a more radical sci-fi style. Its body panels were made from unpainted stainless steel, resistant to corrosion and possessing a futuristic sheen that reflected the optimism of the late 70s and early 80s. While the stainless surface was famously difficult to repair in case of dents or scratches, it contributed heavily to the DMC-12's enduring aesthetic appeal, making it a head-turner even decades later. Beneath that eye-catching exterior, however, lay a chassis and powertrain that generated far more debate than admiration. The DeLorean DMC-12 used a backbone chassis developed by Lotus, sharing some structural DNA with the Lotus Esprit. And under the rear deck sat a Peugeot-Renault-Volvo 2.85-liter V6 engine producing around 130 horsepower in US spec, a figure that was underwhelming even by early 80s sports car standards, especially given that the cars looks promised Ferrari-level performance. The engine was paired with either a 5-speed manual transmission or a 3-speed automatic. And while the manual gearbox offered slightly better engagement, acceleration was still modest, with 0 to 60 miles per hour times hovering in the 9 to 10 second range and a top speed just shy of 110 miles per hour, leading many contemporary reviewers to lament the gap between the DMC-12's appearance and its actual on-road performance. Handling, however, was more of a mixed bag. The Lotus-influenced suspension delivered competent cornering, and the mid-engine layout gave the car a balanced weight distribution. But a relatively soft suspension setup and significant understeer meant it was more of a relaxed GT cruiser than a razor-sharp sports car. Though owners appreciated its comfortable ride and highway stability, inside the DMC-12's cabin carried on the futuristic theme, with a wraparound dashboard, square gauges, and leather seats. And while the ergonomics were decent, the fit and finish sometimes varied between cars due to production teething issues, as the DeLorean factory in Dunmurry, Northern Ireland, faced labor unrest, financial strain, and the challenges of starting an entirely new car brand from scratch. Indeed, the story of the DeLorean DMC-12 is inseparable from the meteoric rise and fall of John DeLorean himself, whose ambitious plans to revolutionize the automotive world collapsed amid economic downturns, currency fluctuations, slow sales, and eventually the infamous FBI sting operation in 1982, involving alleged drug trafficking charges from which DeLorean was acquitted. But by that point, the company was bankrupt, and fewer than 9,000 DMC-12s had been produced in total. Ironically, just a few years later, the DMC-12 would be rocketed to superstardom thanks to its starring role as Doc Brown's time machine in Back to the Future, 1985, and its sequels, cementing its place in automotive folklore and ensuring that demand for surviving examples skyrocketed in the decades to come. Enthusiasts today cherish the DMC-12, not for blistering performance, but for its rarity, design, and cultural significance, and the car enjoys a devoted global following with clubs, specialist restorers, and even new parts being manufactured to keep them on the road. Modern owners often upgrade the original PRV V6 for more power or retrofit suspension and brake improvements to match the chassis potential, but many also keep them factory spec to preserve authenticity. Behind the wheel, a well-maintained DeLorean DMC-12 delivers a unique driving experience. You sit low, framed by wide sills. In that dramatic dash, reach up to pull down a gullwing door, and feel instantly transported to a different era. The stainless steel hood stretching out ahead as the V6 hums from behind. The steering unassisted but communicative at speed, the ride supple, the car attracting more attention than many modern supercars. The DMC-12 may have fallen short as a performance benchmark in its day, but as an object of design, a symbol of daring entrepreneurship, and a pop culture time machine, it has few equals. And its legacy is only growing as a nostalgia for analog. Character-rich cars intensifies in the digital age, a testament to the fact that some cars are defined not just by horsepower and lap times, but by the stories they tell, the emotions they evoke, and the dreams they inspire, and in that sense, the DeLorean DMC-12 remains truly timeless.